It made me cry.
This one's wife. Super Bowl Swift has Tao running away. Hello, I'm H.G. Tudor. Taylor Swift yesterday downed some beer at a sporting event. Indeed. Taylor Swift attended a sporting event yesterday, and her attendance was much anticipated. It was marked by her downing a beer and celebrating for her boyfriend's team. The singer was repeatedly shown on the big screens of Las Vegas's Allegiant Stadium, and the cameras caught her winning what appeared to be a beer-chugging contest, prompting cheers from the crowd. The 14-time Grammy winner cuddled with Blake Lively during Post Malone's performance of America the Beautiful after she flew halfway around the world to see her boyfriend Travis Kelce. Swift made it to the stadium after travelling across 9 time zones, so stunning, so brave, from the last of 4 shows at the Tokyo Dome in Japan, with self-proclaimed Swifties across the globe speculating about the potential strain on her schedule for weeks. It's very difficult flying by private jet. The singer has been criticised for her use of private planes by climate activists and appears to have sold one of her 2 personal jets over a dispute with a student who had been tracking her flights. Taylor Swift and somebody called Travis Kelce have been dating since around September 2023. See parts pass him. Taylor Swift was later spotted at an after-party singing along to a remix of her 2008 hit, You Belong With Me. Before the kickoff of this sporting event, the Queen of Country, Reba McEntire, sang the Star-Spangled Banner, while Andra Day gave a rousing rendition of Lift Every Voice and Sing, a song that has become known as the Black National Anthem. Usher put on a halftime show at this sporting event, marked by impressive choreography and several guest appearances. He performed a 13-minute set, starting with Caught Up and moving on to other big hits, including You Don't Have to Call and Love in the Club. Alicia Keys joined him in front of a red piano resembling an abstract sculpture for her song If I Ain't Got You, which morphed into My Boo. Usher also brought out several other guests, including H.E.R. or Her and Jermaine Dupri, with Lil Jon joining for Turn Down for What, and Yeah, with Ludacris putting in a guest appearance. Adverts during this sporting event also saw Beyoncé tease a new album, with her ad for Verizon ending with the superstar saying, "They ready, drop the new music." Later, a cryptic Instagram video appeared on her page teasing Act 2. Her previous album Renaissance is frequently referred to as Act 1 Renaissance. Swift's long-standing nemesis, Kanye West, as well as fellow musicians Lana Del Rey, Justin Bieber and Lady Gaga, were in the stands at this sporting event. Taylor Swift went to the sporting event, kissed her boyfriend, hung out with Blake Lively, chugged some beer. Thus, it was all about Taylor Swift. In other news, the Super Bowl took place and the Kansas City Chiefs beat the San Francisco 49ers 25-22 in overtime, but nobody's interested in that. Everybody wants to know what Taylor Swift was doing at the stadium. So Taylor Swift, of course, hogged the headlines, as you'd expect that she would do so. The greater narcissist, revelling in all the fuel as a consequence of maintaining that facade in front of everybody of the relationship, which surely isn't anything to do with a PR approach with Travis Kelce, as we have a situation of 2 narcissists collide, and that she drank in the fuel from all of the adoring millions who admired how stunning and brave she was, flying across time zones in the comfort of a private jet to enable her to appear at said sporting event. So, all boxes ticked for Taylor Swift, controlling millions through her appearance, being shown on the screens repeatedly, reported about in the press thereafter, plenty of fuel on offer from the reactions from everybody, and facade managed. No slip up in the facade this time. Thus, all good for Taylor Swift, as she overshadowed the fact that it was actually the Super Bowl. But hang on a moment, what about this one's wife? There's a problem for her. according to skynews.com.au, cannot compete. Taylor Swift fans speculate on this one's wife snubbing Super Bowl because of music star. Prince Harry and his wife, this one's wife, reportedly turned down an invitation to the Super Bowl on Sunday night in Las Vegas to avoid being overshadowed by Taylor Swift. Harry made a surprise appearance at Thursday's NFL Honours in Las Vegas ahead of the game, prompting rumours that the Sussexes would attend the biggest TV ratings event of the year, also known as Taylor Swift appears on big screens. The Duke of Sussex surprised onlookers at the gala and presented the Walter Payton NFL Man of the Year award to Pittsburgh Steelers defensive tackle Cameron Hayward. "Good evening, NFL. It's an honour to be with you all tonight. I really love how you stole rugby from us and you made it your own," he told the crowd. "Instead of passing it backwards, just pass it forwards. Why not wear pads and a helmet? Of course, have an offence and defence. That makes sense. And why not take a breather every 15 seconds? And you know what? Instead of a 10-month season, let's just make it 18 weeks. Genius." However, instead of staying on a few days to watch the Kansas City Chiefs take on the San Francisco 49ers at the Super Bowl, Harry and this one's wife will be heading north to Canada, poor Canada, to prepare for the Duke's Invictus Games. The snub comes after the sports fanatic attended the 2022 Super Bowl in California with his cousin Princess Eugenie. Although the Sussex did not attend the game, there were no shortage of stars, with all eyes on Swift. On social media, fans of the pop star speculated that this one's wife, 42, wanted to skip the sporting event to avoid being outshone by Swift, 34. Attempting to compete with Taylor Swift for airtime was too much for her to handle, one fan wrote. "They know they cannot compete against Taylor Swift," another added. Mr. Goodall admitted he was thrilled by Swift's remarkable ability to boost TV audiences for the NFL thanks to her romance with Mr. Kelsey, who plays as a tight end for the Chiefs. "Having the Taylor Swift effect is also a positive," he told the same outlet, which of course can't be said for the This One's Wife effect, which is likely to cause people to turn off. Thus, is it the case that as a consequence of the Taylor Swift event, which also happened to have some American football being played nearby, was it really the case that this one's wife didn't attend the event? Well, first of all, it might be that they weren't invited in the first place, and as is typical of the way of the narcissist, as I've explained in an earlier piece, the narcissist puts it about that, "Oh no, I didn't want to go anyway. No, I told them I couldn't attend. They did invite me, but I said no," in order to make it look like that the narcissist is the one who has made the decision to turn things down. This is pretty common, and it may well be the case, given the unpopularity of this one's wife, that no invitation was extended. That wounds, and in order to manage that slight, this one's wife has it put out there that they decided that they weren't going to go. If that is the case, of course, it backfires, because it then causes people to think, actually, if you did turn it down, and it's not certain that you did, but if you did, it was because you couldn't stand to be overshadowed by Taylor Swift. And of course, there's legitimacy in that. Taylor Swift is a huge draw. After all, it seems that the football was relegated to an afterthought compared to watching her on the big screens and reporting about her chugging beer, talking with Blake Lively, etc. And this is something that this one's wife would hate. If she were in the stadium seeing the popularity of Taylor Swift, her repeatedly being shown on the big screen, whilst this one's wife would not be, it really would infuriate her. And therefore, there is a legitimacy about suggesting that she simply ran away because of the risk of being overshadowed. Thus, not a good situation for this one's wife. Either the case that she wasn't invited in the first place and once again has to go down the route of pretending that she was invited but she turned it down, but then that simply leads to people saying, "Oh, well, the reason you turned it down is you're a big scaredy cat and you don't like the fact that Taylor Swift got more popular than you, so that's why you turned it down." Or she was actually invited and she turned it down, maybe for a different reason, But then it still leads people to conclude, oh, the reason you did so is because you can't compete with Taylor Swift and you don't like the fact that you're overshadowed. So whichever way it goes, it's not good for this one's wife. And of course, the narcissist can't stand to be overshadowed by somebody else. And there's no doubting that Taylor Swift is far more popular than this one's wife. There are people who aren't particularly attracted by Taylor Swift's music. They're largely indifferent to her. But when it comes to this one's wife, there is a significant body of people who actively don't like her. And therefore, she's never going to succeed. She's never going to be able to compete with Taylor Swift. And in such circumstances, her narcissism may well have recognised the threat posed by Taylor Swift's attendance and caused her to quite simply stay in a position of withdrawal and run away. Whichever way you look at it, the Super Bowl was great for Taylor Swift, or well, she would have it, she was great for the Super Bowl, but it certainly was not a good outcome for this one's wife. I'm H.G. Tudor. Thank you for listening.